This video was made possible by a generous grant from the Delaware County Foundation.
Delaware has always cared about its history. According to one account, the first historical society in the county was formed in 1832, just 31 years after the first European settlement in the area. Other historical societies were formed, but they all ceased to exist after a few years. In 1934, Ohio Wesleyan history professor Dr. Henry Clyde Hubbard began his quest to create a new historical society for the community. After the Second World War in October 1947, a handful of county residents, including some Marlborough Township local history buffs, decided that the time had come to create a lasting Delaware County Historical Society. In November of that year, the first officers were elected and articles of incorporation were approved by the Secretary of State. The first years were busy, but excellent leadership ensured that the society got off to a solid start. The emphasis in the early years was providing a monthly program for members and the public each month of the academic year, from September to May. The society led a nomadic existence in its first few years, meeting in churches and other locales as available. Pauline Nash, a community leader and society supporter, saw this need and stepped in. In 1954, Miss Nash donated her house to the society. The society had a permanent office at last. The following year, the Society's museum opened in what is now known as the Nash House. The Nash House is not a mansion or a showplace, just a normal middle-class home. It demonstrates what small city life was like in the late 19th and early 20th centuries by displaying the types of items that the family who lived there might have actually used. As popular as the Nash House was, it was becoming obvious that the collections and the growing library were overflowing the limited space available. The society made plans to expand on the Nash property, and the plans came to fruition in 1971 with the May 1971 groundbreaking and the October 1971 grand opening of the museum annex. The annex exhibited the Society's artifacts and beginning in 1976 housed the library. The $26,000 annex was financed by an 18-year mortgage that was paid off in only 5 years, thanks to the generosity of the people of Delaware County. In 2011, the annex would be rededicated as the Crider Historical Center and Research Library in honor of George and Marilyn Crider, longtime leaders and volunteers for the Society. The TV miniseries Roots, shown originally in January 1977, helped spark a revival of interest in local history and genealogy. In 1986, in response to booming information demands from people interested in their family histories, the Delaware County Historical Society helped organize a Delaware chapter of the Ohio Genealogical Society. In 1996, the Mendenhall property titles were donated to the Society. These files allow researchers to look at property records dating back to the 1800s. Through the final decades of the 20th century, the Society continued to build its collections and to serve students across the county, enriching their history studies with a consistent program of outreach to teachers. In the last decade, the pace of progress has sped up. The Society created and installed 11 historical markers to celebrate the county's 2008 bicentennial. In 2010, volunteers began digitally cataloging and indexing the Society's huge collection of artifacts. Having this catalog improves access to the collection for serious researchers and the casually curious alike. The following year, the Society launched the www.delawareohiohistory.org website. In December 2010, Tom and Carolyn Porter donated the Meeker property to the Historical Society. The Society's hardworking and dedicated volunteers immediately set out to make the most of this wonderful historic asset. Researchers from the College of Worcester were able to determine that sections of the Meeker homestead were built in 1823 from wood harvested the year before, and that the barn dated from 1848, making them among the oldest structures in the county. The house is being developed into the Meeker Homestead Museum with Sunday afternoon hours. One of its first exhibits in 2016 displayed nearly 200 years of political memorabilia. The barn at Stratford opened in early 2016 in the Garth Oberlander barn on the Meeker property. The barn has become a destination spot for weddings, business meetings, and private parties. Of course, a historical society isn't just about its buildings or its technology. It is valued by the service it provides to the community. In 2011, the Delaware Gazette donated their old newspapers and photo negatives to the Society. The Society has long worked with the county library and other agencies to microfilm and digitize the Gazette in order to make the nearly 200-year-old title available for future generations. In 2014, the Society's Curriculum Support Committee introduced a program to provide third-grade teachers in county schools with a tote bag full of folders holding archival photos and documents about the development of our county. Each bag includes current photographs so that students could see how the county has changed over time, plus books and DVDs. In 2016, the Society received an Outstanding Achievement Award from the Ohio Local History Alliance and the Ohio History Connection for this program. The Society also received STEPS, short for Standards and Excellence Program for History Organizations, from the American Association of State and Local History Associations. This certification recognizes the progress the Society has made in several key areas, such as building audiences for the appreciation of local history. The Herculean efforts of the Society's Corps of Volunteers helped get the barn ready for use as a site for weddings and other events. But it became clear that the permanent staff was also needed to ensure that the Meeker Homestead, the barn, the Nash House, and the Kreider Library would remain vital, vibrant resources for the community long into the future. Connie Hoffman came on as the venue manager in October 2015. Donna Meyer was appointed executive director of the Society in January 2016. Donna, and Connie work closely with the Society's tireless and dedicated volunteers to ensure that its future will be as bright as its past. An active, successful historical society can ensure that generations to come will be able to understand and enjoy the multiple strands of history that weave together to create the present and lay the groundwork for the future. We thank you for your past and continued support of the Society, and together we can look forward to many successes to come.